Morning everyone, welcome back to your beloved drawback chess speedrun series. Today we'll climb from 1200 to 1300. The plan is to win at least 2 out of 3 games, and without any further ado, let's get into today's content. First game is played at 1230. Unrequited love, your king can't move away from your queen, and can't move if you don't have one. Your queen can't move towards your king. Well, that makes the plan absolutely simple. I can just completely ignore the royal couple. Reveal drawback to opponent. d4. Opening up the center is definitely a bad idea. Knight f6. e4. That blunders a pawn. We're up to a very great start. Bishop d3. Aha. Now normally I would be playing d5 here, trying to be a bit more aggressive, but as mentioned earlier, opening up the center this early may not be a very good idea. So I guess I'll just move my knight back. There is no need to rush, we are already up a pawn, and nothing can go too wrong if we just play a simple defensive game. c4. d6. h4. Very aggressive. g6. h5. Aha. I have an idea. Bishop g7. Okay, I mean it's probably a stupid idea, but I'm trying to make him think that I'm about to castle kingside, which is physically impossible because of my drawback preventing my king from moving away from my queen. He'll go h6, pushing my bishop back, trying to stop the checkmate. And then he'll have to spend this entire game trying to defend that pawn, which should be genuinely impossible. Didn't happen. F takes. Bishop takes g6. That blunders a bishop. Okay, that was very suspicious. Maybe his drawback has something to do with giving checks to my king, but it doesn't make any sense as he decided to push c4, blocking his own bishop's main diagonal. Or maybe the drawback wants him to sacrifice a bishop. I have no idea, we don't have enough information. All I know right now is that it is almost certain his drawback is easier than mine, because it doesn't seem to be restricting his playstyle. Rook trade. Rook trade. Bishop h6. Okay, that is once again very suspicious. That bishop is basically controlling nothing, because I physically cannot castle without my rook, and preventing bishop g7 doesn't really do anything. My bishop can still see the entire diagonal from h8. I'm sure that has something to do with his drawback, still cannot guess what it is though. Bishop f5. f3. Very aggressive. Knight c6. His bishops are going all out and his knights haven't even moved yet is also very suspicious. Never mind. e5. I'll trade queens. Bishop f8. Aha. He's trying to flex that my king cannot capture his bishop due to my drawback. Alright dude. You got me there. But that blunders a pawn. Knight b5. Actually, I'll give that pawn back. It's getting quite scary, so let's not play with fire. And I'm not a coward. Queen e2 check. Castle. The website's rule is to capture the king, not giving checkmates, so you can actually castle through a check. Absolutely very convenient. What just happened? Your opponent took your king. En passant. So his queen goes to e8. And my king on c8 just randomly died. What kind of black magic is this? Very inconvenient, but a loss is a loss. Second game, let's go. I mean it's fine, I just have to win the next 2 games. Second game is played at 1260. Vegan. You can't capture knights. Absolutely impossible. Reveal drawback to opponent. e5. The drawback itself isn't that bad, but revealing to opponent means asking for destruction. My only practical plan is to play extremely aggressively. and maybe he'll make some critical blunders. Knight f3. There is no reason to defend my pawn. I cannot capture knights, means I also cannot defend anything from knights. Bishop c5 instead. Attack. Knight takes c5. Queen f6. Please don't see anything. Knight takes f7. Aha. That blunders a king. Queen takes f2 checkmate in 1. Ha! That was a completely unexpected twist. I thought this game was already an absolute loss. But this guy happens to be the literal #1 unpaid actor. King takes f2. Bishop takes the king. For real. Very convenient. The score is 1-1. Final game. Third game is played at 1300 rating points, and I am forced to win this one to at least get a positive win rate. Stir crazy. If you haven't moved your king 4 turns in a row, you must move it on the 5th. Very fair, totally acceptable. Reveal drawback to opponent. e5. The opening part should be the hardest part that I have to overcome. If I can peacefully manage the opening, the rest of the game should be fairly simple enough. Bishop c4. Knight f6. Knight c3. Bishop c5. Knight f3. d6. Oh wait, I blundered a pawn. Aha. Had he taken that pawn, I wouldn't have been able to take his knight because I am actually forced to move my king right now. Castle. Alright. The plan is very simple. I'll try to move my king every 4 move instead of 5, leaving some leeway for myself so my opponent will have less chance of taking advantage over my drawback. This game is absolutely totally winnable. d3. Knight c6. Symmetrical position, which should actually be good for me, because I'm confident that I'm having more control over my drawback than he is with his drawback, even though we don't know what it is yet. a3. Okay, I'm not gonna push that pawn. Bishop g4 instead. b4. Very aggressive. You know what? I'll go forward. Pretty sure you shouldn't be playing like this though, but I'm confident. Bishop d2. Alright, must move king in the next 2 turns, but I'll be safe. Again, I'm not a coward. This is obviously the most optimal way to approach this game. h3. I'll go back this way. Queen e1. Well, in that case I'll go the other way. G takes f3. Queen d7. King h1. Aha. Very sneaky. He is trying to fool me into taking his h-pawn, and then he can actually go king to h2, coming closer to my queen instead of running away from her, because I will then have to move my king on my next move due to my own drawback. He can take my queen for free. Absolutely genius. I almost fell for that. King g8 instead. Rook g1. Aha. Now that really blunders a king. Queen takes h3. Checkmate in 1. A counter check. Trophy wife. Your queen cannot capture. Sounds fair enough. I lost 25% of movement freedom. He lost 25% of total material value. Very balanced. 2 wins and 1 loss. As always. 1300 rated drawback chess. 100% win rate.